everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I'm doing the Eccentric Victorian speed build. So what you probably already noticed right off of the get-go is that this building already looks kind of complete, and that's because this is actually a build where I kind of chickened out. Like, I got to about this point and then I decided that I didn't like it and that it wasn't worth like keeping the film, and so I deleted it. And then I came back to it after probably a month, maybe even 2, and I was like, I actually really like this. And so I was kind of sad that I deleted the footage, but I decided in the spirit of embracing my own design and whatnot that I was going to do a speed build of this anyways. So if you're really into watching the process of building the structure, then this might not be for you. This is more just recoloring the exterior and doing the interior of this house. But you know, like I said, I really wanted to post this anyways, even though I personally like seeing the exterior of the houses being built more than the interior myself. But yeah, so right now I am just doing the recoloring of everything, and the goal for this house was to really push the boundaries of being weird. It's kind of inspired off of this house that is near where I live, and it's like a Victorian house that's like drank way too much coffee. And that's kind of what I wanted this house to be, but more so than that. Because that house is like all one color, it's like a bright purple. But it's got all of these like super intricate accents that just like, you see it and you're like, whoa, whoa, calm down a little bit. So I wanted that same sort of feeling with this build, which is a little bit weird, I guess, to kind of purposely make something that's like, are you okay? How were you when you were building this? But yeah, so that was kind of just the goal for this. You guys are gonna have to tell me if I did that, if I maybe went too far, I don't know. But that's why there's lots of different colors in this. There's like tons of different styles of windows. Probably the most variation of windows that I've ever done. And of course the most variation in exterior wall colorings. I wished that I could have done something a bit more with the roofing though, but none of the colors felt vibrant enough to be deemed eccentric. So I kind of just went with this like green color, and then I went with the pink, which on its own wouldn't be very eccentric, but with everything else I thought that it made it look more eccentric. But yeah, so the interior of this, which we'll be showing in a couple minutes, I think, or now. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but the interior of this isn't as eccentric. It's actually a bit like normal, I think. But you know, I still really like it. I think it'd be a bit harder for me to do an eccentric interior and still make it look cohesive. I don't know. But here's some of the things that actually made me want to do this build again. I had an inspiration for bookcases that were built into the wall with arches, because I was actually watching Sailor Moon, and in one of the episodes, it's that weird one with the doll, I think, where the doll has whatever. Anyways, but it's that episode with the doll. You might know what I'm talking about, you might not, but the girl who makes the dolls has like a bookshelf that has bookshelves and arches, and so I never actually tested that in game to see if it worked, but it looks nice. That's actually what brought me back to this build, is because I saw that and I thought, oh, I want to put that in a build. And then I was like, but do I really want to make an entire house? Because that wouldn't really work for a room build, because that'd be cut out. It wouldn't count as a singular room. And so then I was like, but what could I add it to? And then I remembered this. And so I went back and I looked at it and I was like, why did you delete this footage? Why? And so that's what started this. Pretty much. So yeah, I'm mostly doing the interiors. You might notice that this is a bit like edited weirdly, and that's because one, this is originally 30 minutes of footage, which was really unexpected. I wasn't expecting that just because I had already finished the exterior. So I was like, oh, this will be easy. This will just be like, 10 minutes of a video. But no. So I cut back a lot, and so that's where some of the cuts are. I don't even remember everything that I cut. To be quite honest, I was actually celebrating after a long day, and I had a couple glasses of champagne, which I don't usually do, but I'm also an adult of legal age, so no big deal. But like, I was editing this while a little bit tipsy, so I think it'll look fine. I probably didn't even need to tell you guys that, but like, I'm 22. I'm actually almost gonna be 23 soon, so that's what happened there. I mean, might as well tell you guys. I'm like feeling really awkward about that now. But yeah, I probably just because I come from a pretty strict family. But anyways, moving on. So here I'm doing one of two of the kids' rooms, and in between the kids' rooms is a playroom. And I did that because the way the upstairs was laid out, it didn't really seem like I could fit in an ensuite bathroom to any of the rooms and have the rest of them look okay. And so instead, I did a room that was in between two bedrooms that wasn't a bathroom. And so like the master bedroom, or the more mature bedroom, is the one like more on the left in that shot. And then, there's two kids' rooms. And I really love the idea of having a secret playroom. Like, the doors between them is the secret bookshelf doors. And I think that's just really cute. It actually reminds me of one of my cousin's houses growing up. Not because they actually had a secret playroom, but they had an older townhouse. And so there were a lot of doors. There was like one door that used to lead out to a balcony, but there was no balcony anymore, so it was permanently locked. There were a couple that used to be between the actual like houses within the townhouse, and those were locked too. And so that just kind of, my little imagination always imagined that there was something really cool behind that door, and there was just some like reason that the parents actually locked it. Like, it wasn't because it was dangerous, it was because there was something really cool behind there. I'm sure of it. But yeah. So I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit like scratchy. I think I might be getting a sore throat. I don't know. Like, it kind of actually hurts to talk, but I'm gonna talk anyways. But yeah, so for the two kids' rooms, I went with one room that was very blue and I think what most people would consider to be traditionally feminine. And then I went with, out there I'm putting in the secret bookshelf doors. And then this room is very neutral, and it features void critters a lot more heavily, so some people might consider that to be more masculine. I don't know, but I wanted there to be distinct personalities between these two bedrooms, because I like the idea that even though there are two very different kids, they still love to come together to play in the secret playroom. I thought that was really cute. I really like it when, like, siblings get along. I don't know, is that weird just to say? But yeah, and, like, my LP, I'm really loving that my two sim children, like, love each other, even though they're both adopted from different parents. I really like that. But yeah, so I'm using the void critters heavily. I'm in love with them. I was a pretty huge Pokemon. I was a huge Pokemon fan. But I was a huge Pokemon fan growing up. I was really, really young when they came out. Like, I mean, really young. And my older brother was more into them than me. And so he kind of took charge in that. And so I was kind of just like a tag along with that. But here in the playroom is something else I really like. You'll see that there's a chalkboard display. And that's actually in there because, oh my gosh, there's like a really loud car outside. But some kids get to play with like little miniature chalkboards when they were little. I didn't get to, well, I think maybe in like play school, but in that same house that I was talking about with my cousins, they had one, and so it just kind of like transitioned over into this build, and I think it looks really cute, you know, like the kids maybe are keeping score with who's been winning at the void critter battles, or, you know, maybe one of them is more artistic and they like to do drawings, you know, just something like that. I really like the idea that Void Critters was bringing these two siblings together. Maybe I should like make a family for this. I don't usually do that, but maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I've been really busy lately. Oh my gosh, I've taken 2 different online classes, and one of them's really, really annoying. Oh my gosh. And I'm getting ready, I'm applying for graduate school, and so I just feel like really busy with everything. So maybe I won't, maybe I will. I'm also trying to start up a new series, so hopefully you guys will see that soon. I'm really excited for it. But yeah. So here I am doing the kitchen, and it's actually surprisingly modern in a way. Like I feel like that brick that I used is pretty modern. The rest of it isn't quite, but I went with a very black and white theme. I don't know why, I just did. But I really liked how it turned out. And so like the only really colorful thing in this room will be the curtains and the stained glass windows. And so I really, really like this. I think it's like just a really cute kitchen. I don't know what it is about this kitchen, but I think because just this house in general, I think because I don't do like older style houses, I'm more of a modern girl. But this one just feels really homey to me. Like I really like the flow between all of the rooms. Like there aren't any hallways, but it's not an open floor plan. And so I just really liked how that turned out. There are 2 rooms in this that I'm kind of like, because there's a mud room, and then upstairs in the blue sort of section tower of the house, there's a room that's kind of like a freebie room, like a free space, and I just like threw whatever in it. But yeah, this is just, I don't know, I really like this build. I'm running out of things to say, I think, a little bit about it, other than, you know, oh, I love this build so much. I was able to use some stuff that I hadn't ever used before. Like I'm about to do, or I guess you can see it, there's the fireplace. I've never actually used that, the biggest fireplace in game. I don't know why, but I haven't, and I used it then. Here's a little office space that I did, and I think it's also really cute. I feel like it looks like it used to have a former purpose. Like maybe it was like the informal dining room, or maybe it was a little bit of a sitting room or something, or maybe it was just a hallway. And the new owners needed a space to put an office, so they're like, oh, I guess this place is as good as any, and so they put it in there. And I think it just looks really, really cute, and there's like a little bonsai tree, and yeah, and so here I'm putting a piano, which I love. I really actually want to start using pianos more in game, but I wish there was an upright piano. This is a grand piano. I think maybe, I don't know if it's a baby grand or not, but I personally play the piano myself, and I never actually have my Sims play instruments of any kind in my gameplay, so I kind of want to start doing that more. But here I removed one of the entrances to that sort of mudroom because I wanted more room for the living room, and I think here is where maybe a weird cut comes up. Yeah, look there, I just like, I don't know why, Tipsy Penelope decided that that needed to be cut out. But here I'm doing something that is kind of pointless because I end up not doing it anyways, but I found that if you want to place an object like these here, you have to fill all of the slots, otherwise it'll just keep snapping to the slot, and if you don't want it in the slot, you need to fill the slot. If that makes any sense. If you've used the move objects cheat, you probably know what I'm talking about. You can move objects up and down and place them on top of areas where they wouldn't normally go. But if there's nothing in the area next to it, it'll just like snap into there, which can be really annoying. I don't know why I cut out doing the furniture for the living room, because I find it really cute. I don't know what happened there. I think I probably just got too anxious about how long this is, because like I said before, I wasn't expecting it to be this long, and I also didn't want to make this a two-parter. It didn't feel like it needed to be a two-parter, and so yeah. But here is that room I was talking about, where it's kind of an empty room, and I think you could turn this room to anything you want, so that's kind of nice. Something nice about that room. I do think it's nice to have some free spaces in a build so that people can add their own touches to them when they download them. But yeah, here's that sort of room. I imagined it as being like a room where the little Victorian ladies would be playing cards in games like that. But then it's also, in a way, almost looks like a dancing room because of the floor. And I think I ended up putting like an easel in here. So it's sort of just like a catch-all mudroom. And it seems really cold, actually. Like, do you ever see a room and you're like, it looks like that room would be cold? I feel like this would be like the coldest room in the house. Like, actually temperature-wise, not just like emotionally. I don't know, now I'm just imagining a very emotional room. I'm an emotional room and I am cold. I don't know. What am I even talking about? Oh my gosh. You'd think that at this point I'd be drinking the champagne. But yeah, so I'm starting to get into some of the exterior, which I definitely, or not exterior, but landscaping, which I definitely wanted to be as eccentric as the house itself. And so I might have gone overboard. Like, I really like this house without the landscaping, but I also like it with the landscaping, because without the landscaping, you can kind of really see the structure and be like, whoa. And with the landscaping, it's a little bit more hidden, but maybe it looks more realistic. I don't know. I don't know where you would find this house in real life. But yeah. So I forgot to say that you can download this house on the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT, but I kind of figured that if you've made it 18 minutes into this video that you probably already guessed that, or you probably like follow me and like my other stuff and so are willing to watch it that long. I don't know. One of the most like, maybe not sad things, but like humbling things on YouTube is that when you're a creator and you start actually putting stuff up and watching how it grows, and you look at the statistics, the number of views does not exactly correspond to how popular something is, because like the length, the duration that people stick around to watch your video is often like, at least when you're starting out, or maybe just for me, maybe it's just me, but like the duration of watch time is only like 10-20%, and that's the average. So of course there's people who are probably watching it all the way through. I mean, I know at least my boyfriend is watching all the way through, but yeah, not everybody does. A lot of people will just like bail out in the first 10 seconds, but that's okay too. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. But yeah, well, on the topic of YouTube statistics, I don't know if anyone else is like this with a small channel, but it seems like I go through periods of growth where every other day or every other 2 days I will get maybe a subscriber or maybe two. Like, I've been looking at it and it's like an up and down pattern. It's really weird. It's like it's a bouncing ball. And so I just find that kind of funny and interesting. But yeah, so here I'm going, this is the thing I think I play with the most with the landscaping. I wanted to go with a really overgrown look. This isn't something that I see or that I've done in The Sims before, and so I really wanted to look like these bushes have been planted 100 years ago, maybe not. And so I don't know if that looks okay, but I really like it. I liked also fitting in statues because having a statue being in like bushes and whatnot makes it look like the statue was put somewhere where there wasn't bushes and then they grew around the statue, which I think really adds to the perceived age of a place, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so I was just, I did this in a couple different spots, and I liked how it looked. I actually did cut out me doing it after the first one, and I just sort of skipped to this maybe sort of the end product, just because I did the same exact thing, like 3 times. So I figured you guys didn't necessarily need to see that, like, 3 times. Once is enough. But yeah, so here's the mailbox. Oh my gosh. So yeah, here's the mailbox. I'm like, don't even know what to say. I guess I could just talk about how I imagine them using the space. This outdoor space does have a pool, which I actually don't tend to do that often. Or maybe I do. Maybe I'm just like saying stuff. But it has a little pool, and it has a little area to sit, and it has a mini garden. I really like that. I liked having a defined garden space within the backyard, because I don't know if I always do that or not. But yeah. I think that I'm progressively getting more and more exhausted, and my throat is feeling worse and worse with this. So it's probably a good thing that the speed build is almost over. But yeah, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this build. Forgive me for this commentary. I don't even know what is happening. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe. That would really be great. The screenshots are coming up soon, and of course this will be up on the gallery. Again, my origin ID is penappleYT. Here's where I'm doing the last like big area of stuff. See, I like jumped right through there. But anyways, back to the outro. I really hope that you guys like this build, like this video, and the screenshots are coming up soon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!